Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the LOL tutorial. Once you have been to leagueoflegends.com and created your free account and downloaded the game, you should log in just like this, and if it is your first time playing the game, you will begin the tutorial. There are actually 3 tutorials to start with, so please do complete all of these before continuing on with this video. But whilst I run through the first tutorial in the background, allow me to briefly introduce this series. The LOL tutorial is aimed at complete and utter beginners to the game. It will focus on concepts that are rarely explained in most tutorials, but many complete beginners struggle with. And the aim of this series is to get you having fun with the game in as short a time as possible and build you a strong foundation from which you can go on to teach yourself. Each episode will contain a brief tutorial with some exercises for you to complete to demonstrate that you can do
Fortune doesn't favor fools.
So now the tutorial is over. I'm going to skip the second one for now, but again, please complete them yourselves. And we're going to click play, click training, and open the practice tool. So just click confirm. You can just click start game. And then choose any champion. I've chosen Miss Fortune, and I do recommend this one for the purposes of the tutorial, but actually any champion is fine. And then we're going to begin the first lesson, moving the camera and moving your champion. So the first thing that we will have to do actually is click escape on your keyboard. And let's just set up a couple of our settings. So under hotkeys, choose quick cast all. Under game, make sure auto attack is unchecked for the purposes of this tutorial. And then on interface, try to make your HUD a little bit smaller so we can see more of what's on the screen, and make your minimap a bit bigger. I prefer around 60. Okay, let's move on to moving the camera. Now during the tutorial, your camera was locked, which means your camera would move along with your champion. However, as you can see on your screen right now, I can move the camera by moving my mouse to the edges of the screen, and my champion does not need to move with me. And this means I can look around the map freely. You can also move the camera by left-clicking on the minimap, as I'm showing right now, and that will jump your camera to a specific part of the map so you can see what's on the screen. And you can actually quickly recenter the camera by pressing the spacebar, which is what I am doing now. So please try that out. Next up is moving your champion. We can move our champion by right-clicking, and your champion will walk towards wherever your cursor was placed when you right-clicked. So here we're just moving up, down, left and right, and I'd like you to briefly practice walking in a circle as shown here right now, just to get used to moving your champion in different shapes. Feel free to do a square if you wish, but moving your champion is very important. You can also right-click the minimap to move your champion, but what we're going to see now is, your champion will keep moving to that spot, but your camera is not following them. And this is because our camera is unlocked. So let's get our champion back into the screen. And let's talk about a core skill of League of Legends, which is following your champion with the camera. And we're going to do a brief exercise. So if you can right-click on the map, you will notice that your champion is moving away from you. And for this exercise, all you're going to do is keep moving your camera by moving your mouse to the edges of the screen, and try to keep your champion somewhat in the middle of the screen. And this is important in League of Legends because it's good to see your champion and what's around them whilst you're playing the game, so you can make decisions and whatnot. Let's try again. Let's right-click on the minimap, and again continue moving the champion. All we're doing is moving our mouse to the edges of the screen to ensure that the camera stays in the middle, generally, of the champion. If this is a bit difficult for you because the camera is moving too fast or too slow, please adjust in settings the speed of your camera until you find something comfortable. Okay, exercise 2. Let's get a bit more advanced and try to move our champion and the camera at the same time. So here, we're going to be right-clicking, as we showed you before, to make the champion move. But at the same time, we're going to be right-clicking and then moving our mouse to the edge of the screen to ensure that the camera kind of moves along with the champion. And this is the basics of movement in League of Legends. And if you can master this skill, you've kind of mastered the most fundamental skill of the game, which is moving and making sure that you can see your champion whilst it moves. This is actually very important, and this is actually what a lot of new players struggle with. So please do make sure that you have mastered this before moving to the next tutorial. So your final task to prove that you have mastered this concept is to execute yourself to suicide into the enemy fountain. So we're going to be going on a journey to Valhalla, to the enemy base, and trying to murder ourselves essentially in the enemy fountain. So keep right clicking as we've practiced before, keep moving your camera around so we can ensure that the champion is in the middle of the screen, and we're walking through the enemy side of the map towards their base. And this is the hard part. If you take any more than 2 tower shots, you will die. So if you find yourself taking more than 2 tower shots, it just means you need a bit more practice. But now we're on the home stretch, and we're going to walk into the enemy fountain, which, funnily enough, in League of Legends is a very dangerous thing to do. And with that, the first tutorial is finished and you can move to the next one. Thank you for watching.